Fit to Love, episode 46. Yes, I can. 3 keys to personal success.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love, Thoughtful Thursdays. Today's show, Yes, I Can. The 3 keys to personal success. Our guest today is Cathy Alessandra. She's a dynamic speaker, best-selling author, radio host, and the Chief Innovative Officer of Alessandra Media Group, LLC. Since 1995, she has published the successful niche magazine, What's Up for Kids, serving families in Los Angeles. In 2011, she launched Today's Innovative Woman, creating a niche magazine serving smart, savvy women business owners. Additionally, Cathy hosts the weekly podcast radio show, Innovative Women in Business, and published the #1 Amazon bestseller, Millionaire Moms in the Making. She's been featured on CBS.com, CareerIntelligence.com, and KFWB News Radio in Los Angeles. Welcome, Cathy.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to have you and to talk about your journey in the Yes, I Can, because I think what you've learned and what everyone is going to learn about you is the amazing idea of divine timing and what gifts of information we learn and what we're moved and how we're moved to grow, and the 3 keys that you've taken away from that I think are really powerful and that a lot of people need to hear about. So before we get started, can you tell everyone who's listening just a little bit more about, obviously from your bio, you're a magazine publisher and you've written a book, and now I know you've written another book. Can you tell us a little bit about that most recent book?
Navigating Entrepreneurship. So it's a compilation book with 12 authors who all share their story on becoming an entrepreneur and that road that can be quite bumpy with lots of twists and turns, and how they reach success. You know, really letting people know that it's doable, but it does take work. All of us have to put our time in, make it work.
I wanted to have Cathy on Thoughtful Thursdays because the mindset piece obviously is important, and it's through her most recent transformations and the use of the thought processes and the mindset shifts that have happened that she's been able to come up with both this movement, the Yes I Can movement, and also attain a lot of really great wins in her own life. So, Cathy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey over the last 12 months?
Can't believe it's been 12 months. Almost. Close to it. So, well, actually, I have struggled with my weight and my health for a number of years, and had really gotten to a point in my life being on some blood pressure medication and the level of stress and my kids growing up, and really wanting to make a shift, but not really sure how to do it or what to do or how I was going to accomplish it. And I was just stuck in that rut of waiting for the magic pill to come along and get me healthy. And, you know, you talk about the divine timing, and it really all ended up being kind of the perfect storm for me. About a year ago, I was introduced to a woman who does hypnotherapy for weight loss, and, you know, had kind of a weight loss program, and she encouraged me to come to her program, and so I did, and the hypnosis was helping. About the same time, I was away for a mastermind group, for a business mastermind group, and that group is very supportive of where I was going with my business and journey, and I had been encouraged at that group to stay an extra day by myself and just really go inward, not take phone calls, not be on the internet, just really spend some time in meditation and contemplation and reflection. And during that time, I picked up the book, The 4 Agreements, which I had picked up earlier. I had read it, you know, a few years back, but it really hadn't spoken to me at that point. And this particular time, it did. And it talks about being, well, there's 4 agreements, actually, if you're not familiar with the book. It's called The 4 Agreements, and it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the 4 agreements are being impeccable with your word, not taking anything personally, not to make assumptions, don't make assumptions, and to always do your best. And the 4 agreements, you know, being impeccable with your word, it had a lot to do with, in the way I interpreted it, and was that, you know, the head trash, the negativity that I was saying to myself, and the things that I was putting myself down, and you're not good enough for that, and And so it wasn't necessarily things I was saying about other people or the gossip and that kind of stuff, but it was even that own stuff within my own head. Not taking anything personally. I was one who did take a lot of things personally. You know, if I hadn't been included or if somebody was doing something better or whatever, and I was comparing, and I realized that was not doing me any good and no service for sure. Not making assumptions, finding that courage to ask questions and express what you really want, communicate with others, and not assume that things were being said or done or things were happening or not happening because you were making assumptions and not really getting real clear on that. And then that fourth one, which really hit home, was just always do your best. And it had to do with those first three agreements. You know, those first three agreements are pretty hard to live by on a daily basis. But as long as you're always doing your best and always trying to live by those agreements, you know, that you're always doing your best. And that book and that weekend was really a big turning point for me because I made that decision. I saw the light. I don't know. It all came together for me that it was time for me to work on me and that these were some major shifts that I needed to make in my own head, in my own mindset, and the way I was living my life day to day. And then finally, the following weekend, I ended up at a course taught by Allison Armstrong, who I think it's Celebrating Men, Satisfying Women is her program, and I had actually taken the second course, her Queen course, which talked a lot about taking time for you, that you need to be the quote-unquote queen of your court. And so therefore, instead of giving to everybody else, you need to give to those who are most important to you. And so much of the time, we as women give so much that there's nothing left for ourselves or those who are right in our immediate circle who are most important. So, again, it kind of was the perfect storm. All three of those things happened within about a 3-week period of one another, and that just helped me to set myself on the decision in the middle of the holidays, nonetheless, that I needed to make a major shift in my attitude and my mindset, and that was going to lead me on a path to health and wellness. And even though it was the holidays, many of us think, oh, we'll start after Christmas or we'll start after Thanksgiving, right? No, it needed to start right then, right there, before Thanksgiving even hit. I was on the treadmill. I was watching what I was eating, really being careful, you know, calories in, calories out, all of that. And came through the holidays, losing about 10 pounds, amazingly enough, with all of that. And then the final piece to all of this for me was, and I do truly believe, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, JJ, that, you know, as you start doing things and you start believing and things are working, more things show up in your life. And so I ended up being reintroduced, actually. I already knew him, a gentleman who was a chef and was teaching a lot on gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. And he approached me the first week of January and said, you know, if you're willing to commit to 30 days, I'm willing to commit to you. And lo and behold, it's now many months later, and I'm down 55 pounds and a whole new me, really. And I think, you know, with that shift, so much changes. I mean, as you know, JJ, partway through that whole process, I tore my calf muscle, which brought me to a screeching halt with exercise. But instead of sitting back and saying, oh, well, I guess that's that, you were my first call from practically the hospital bed. Okay, JJ, what am I going to do now? Yeah, I need you over here. What's next? Well, how am I going to continue on this health journey, even with pretty serious injuries? So that's kind of my journey in a nutshell, but it was really the perfect storm, divine intervention, you know, and the more I became open to it, the more that started shifting and happening for me.
Well, it's often said that sometimes things need to be repeated 100 times before you actually hear it. And people who are listening and have had many ups and downs on your program, whatever that is, on the journey to a better you and whatever that means to you, health, wellness, emotional, because the other thing you didn't touch on, Cathy, that I'm going to ask you to share a little bit about is the relationship, because you had several other aspects of your life that also aided to the timing and the big stirring the pot of soup, if you will, of everything sort of in breakdown mode. And now it's time to surrender and say, okay, it's time to do something about this. But absolutely, you know, sometimes when you're ready, the teacher will come or the message will come or you'll hear it and lessons will be repeated until they're learned. And again, it's always about timing. So to me, for those of you listening, I actually interviewed Cathy, and she is one of the new additions to Fit to Love that will be coming out in February of next year. The new version, the second edition of Fit to Love, How to Get Physically, Emotionally, and Spiritually Fit to Attract the Love of Your Life. And her chapter is chapter 13, and it is called Divine Timing. So it tells you a little bit more about what we're talking about here. So, Cathy, do you want to just quickly mention the other relationships and sort of how they also came to be?
Yeah, absolutely. There were three major things that I was kind of battling all at the same time, as well as the health piece. And one was that I was struggling with my son. He is 17, going on 18, going on, 32. And he had decided that smoking weed was his thing, and he was struggling in school, practically failing out. We were having some pretty massive issues as far as behavioral and us getting along, and I was feeling like a complete and total failure as a mom, even though I had two girls who were thriving and, strong students, had gotten in great colleges. One's even gotten in the real world with a real job now. But as a mom, you really take that personally. Again, not take things personally. And then my marriage. I've been married 27 years now, and the last 3 or 4 of which of my marriage had been really tough. There was virtually no communication going on. I had felt completely disconnected in the marriage, and I was trying to, get things back. I wanted things to work, but I was at that point where, do I continue to try and make it work, or do we just walk away and, say, well, we got married too young, or whatever the case may be? And I wasn't ready to do that. And that was one of the reasons that I had attended Alison Armstrong's course, to get that piece of it. So those are two big relationship pieces, and so in my uncomfortableness, in my unhappiness, in my sadness over all of that, I had really let my health go even further. And for me, it was easier to comfort myself by, having a bag of chips or something than, going to the gym. So yeah, but when I started making that shift, the relationship with my son almost immediately started shifting. And then a couple months into it, as I was learning from, I was speaking with the counselor, and then all the exercise and all the reading and the self-work I was doing on me, that started shifting the relationship in my marriage too. And the communication came back, and the intimacy came back, and things are great now. And we have a total new respect for each other because of the work that I did on myself.
Yep, it has to start with you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right, and we all, not everyone knows that, but I'm sure people hear that the work has to start with you, but really, it really has to start with you. And I love that your story can help to illustrate that for people. And out of your success story, and it continues, obviously, because I know that your adoption of a new way of eating, and a way of thinking, a new way of exercising, a new way of being, a new relationship with your son, a new relationship with your husband, that all this is going so well. This isn't a phase. This is sort of a transition.
Mm-hmm.
And out of this has come the Yes I Can movement. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the Yes I Can movement?
Yeah. Well, I realized on one of those days at the gym, as I was on a treadmill, I was thinking about all these things and everything that had happened and what was ahead of me and what I was committing to and what I really wanted in life. And it's kind of a funny story. A woman came in the gym, and she had on this sparkly T-shirt that said "One Woman Can," and that immediately caught my attention. Well, not only because of the bling, but just the saying "One woman can," and yes, I can. We all can. Yes, I can. And that just led to practically screaming "Yes, I can" in the middle of the gym, because I realized at that moment that it's about not just about me, but it's a much bigger movement. It's about all of us. So many of us have that yes, I can, whatever it may be. It may be your marriage. It may be your health. But it may be, beating some serious illness. It may be starting a business. It may be finding that love, relationship. Whatever it is, everybody's got a different yes, I can, but it's that whole mindset piece that no matter what, there were days I didn't want to get up and go to the gym. God knows, and it's, yes, I can, Cathy. Yes, I can. It's that mantra, that motivation, that mindset piece, the yes, I can piece that I have to keep going. I'll walk into, every once in a while we all have setbacks. I'll walk into the kitchen and think, okay, where are those chips that my son has hidden somewhere in the pantry? And then it's like, no, yes, I can. I do not need it. yes, I will, yes, I can continue on my healthy path. And so it launched as a national movement, and we have a number of people who have joined. And like I said, I've encouraged everybody to write down their yes, I can. And some people will share it with me. Some people post it on Facebook, but it's just the idea of committing to that yes, I can, whatever that yes, I can is for you.
And out of that yes, I can, you identified 3 different keys that have led to your personal success that you believe everybody on the Yes, I Can movement would also experience personal success. So let's start with key number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. First key is self-care. And while I had been told it 1,000,001 times, like you said, we need to hear it over and over again, I really needed to stop and smell the roses for me. I needed to make myself a priority for a change. And I know there's people probably sitting on this call thinking, well, I've got too many other things, and how selfish to make myself the priority. Well, no, how selfish not to make ourselves the priority. Self-care can be anything from that daily exercise to, journaling every morning when you wake up, to, meditating in the afternoons. But it can also be something, where I spent 24 hours alone up in Santa Barbara just by myself. It can be going to the spa. It can be taking a weekend away. Whatever that self-care is for you, it's on many different levels. And I do believe that you need to have some sort of self-care every day, even if that means taking a walk around the block, just getting up and moving. But self-care is a critical piece, and I think a piece that so many of us as women write off because we have so many other responsibilities and commitments, and we tend to think that we should be last and everybody else needs to be taken care of first. So I challenge you to turn that around and make yourself a priority.
And if this is the first time you're listening to this show is dedicated to your self-care. Everything about this show, all 6 days a week of FitToLove.tv is about self-care and helping you to get there. So please use the resources that we offer you as well to encourage and continue on the path of increasing and deepening and expanding your self-care. So of course, you're going to get a hell yeah from me on that one. So now we have the second key to personal success.
Yeah, the second key is sacred space. And this has to do with boundaries. Being alone is not necessarily a comfortable feeling for me. At least it wasn't. But now I know I understand that I need to have that alone time. I need to distance myself, put up some boundaries for people and things that don't support me or can't support me, and consider that my sacred space. I really need to be able to honor myself. And we all have those negative people in our lives that maybe we need to just put an arm's, distance from. The boundaries of friends or family or work, and really hold that space. And I call it sacred space because it is. And we can't, if we don't think of it as that, it's harder to hold it, if you're making any sense whatsoever. But really having some of that sacred space where you do put up the boundaries, you potentially say no to a few things so that you can say yes to that self-care, and like I said, putting some distance between you and some of that negative, because there is so much of that out there, and having those boundaries in place so that you can say yes to those things that you really want to say yes to yourself, makes a huge, huge difference. So honoring your own sacred space is critical.
I think that's brilliant, and I love that you called it sacred space. I would agree. I would even go as far as to say even just space for women, having space, right? Sacred space can be about just even creating any space to have nothingness, to have beingness, especially entrepreneurs who want to go, multitask, do. There's no space there. Right. We cram 15 things into one space. So sacred space is that decision of holding some space just for you and only you. So I love that. I think it's an amazing term to add to this 3 keys to personal success. And the third, but before we get to the third and final key to personal success with the Yes, I Can, do whatever your Yes, I Can is, transform your body, transform your health, your relationships, your family, I do need to take a moment to thank our sponsors.
Is your website working for you? If it's not, and you're frustrated with your brand, website, or current online results, Every Angle Media can help transform your existing business presence and build you a website that works when you're not working. Every Angle Media is a full-service web development firm that specializes in solving problems with open-source solutions. We offer complete design services, custom content management systems, fully integrated e-commerce solutions, cross-platform mobile development, and custom third-party integration, and we're here to help. Visit our site to see our work at everyanglemedia.com or give us a call at 310-798-7228. Again, that's everyanglemedia.com. Want even more up-to-date recipes, product reviews, exercises, and mental stimulation? You can find step-by-step articles from top-notch experts on invisiblefitness.com/blog. If you're busy like me, you may want the convenience of having these articles mailed directly to your inbox every month. So be sure to register your name and email at the top of the page so we can make sure you don't miss anything. Again, that's invisiblefitness.com/blog, invisiblefitness.com/blog.
Okay, Cathy. So the third key to personal success is
support. That's a big important one. Whether your support is from your spouse or significant other, or it's from a trusted friend or a professional, we need support. We need support in all areas. I had support in all of those areas. I had, as I mentioned, I had a hypnotherapist that I was working with. I had a chef that I was working with. I had a personal trainer, JJ, that I was working with. I also had some counseling. I had some professional counseling. As I mentioned, my son was going through some of his own issues, and I ended up connecting with his counselor and doing some counseling with him and really talking some of it through. So I think there's, having some of that professional help. And then even the girlfriends, for me, having those trusted girlfriends that I can share with, that I can talk to, that I can get feedback from, who sometimes are willing to just listen, and at other times are willing to say to me, Cathy, you're really kind of off base. And, giving me a reality check, because it's not always me who's right? Having that support, getting your team, really, and whatever that yes, I can is for you, your team members may be different. For me, again, it was health and wellness was kind of my first yes, I can goal. And so that meant I needed, the help of the trainer and a doctor and a counselor and, the chef and all of those things. But take a look at what your yes, I can is and where might you get that support. There's so many different sources that you can really reach out to. And I encourage you. And if you're not sure where to get the support, ask. Ask a trusted friend, talk to your spouse or your significant other about it. But having somebody to not only support you, but hold you accountable as you're going through it, makes such a tremendous difference. At least it did for me. I needed to have those people I could talk to. I needed to have, I actually was talking to somebody daily. I had daily accountability. It was even just text messages, texting in and, how are things going? It's a rough day or whatever. And having that person to be able to reach out to. And that was, I think, probably the piece that brought it all together for me was having that. So,
and out of that came the yes, I can, because it was you wanting to help others have that support that you had and providing a platform that people can come and find other support if they wanted it and have a community of people who are supporting each other. So can you tell everyone who's listening how to get involved or get some support from the Yes I Can movement?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to yesicanwomen.org. And there you can opt in to receive our, there's daily emails that come out. You can actually, I have a video that I've created that goes a little bit more into my personal story of how the Yes I Can all happened and the transformation that I've made. And then there is a Your Daily Yes program where you can get daily inspiration and connect with other women. There's a secret Facebook group as well that you can belong to. And it gives you an opportunity to get some of that accountability and daily support from others who are also going through and finding their yes I can and doing whatever it takes to reach their goals and their dreams and get their yes I can on. So yesicanwomen.org.
Excellent. And if people want a little bit more information about you, separate from Yes I Can, where can they find that?
They can find that at CathyAlessandra.com. And that's Cathy with a C and Alessandra, Alessandra, CathyAlessandra.com, and that you will find information about me, and you can connect with me there as well. And, of course, I'm on all the major social media, so Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest. You'll find me on any of them, so I'd love to connect with you.
Excellent. Thank you, Cathy. You've been an inspiration. I know that's been amazing to watch and be a part of your journey, and I appreciate your trust in me to help you with that and your willingness to share your story with the world, because it's important that people understand the struggles that other people go through that are similar to theirs. I know we all sometimes can feel isolated or lonely, like we're the only ones experiencing what we are, but the reality of it is we're not. And it's brave and courageous people like you who can put it all out there and say, okay, this is what I went through and what's going on with me, and affect many, many lives because of that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And I hope everyone listening will take part in the Yes I Can movement. Definitely go check it out. It's there to support you and others at the same time. So figure out what you want and tell yourself that, yes, you can. Thank you so much for being here, Cathy.
Thanks for having me, JJ.
Looking for an engaging and inspiring speaker? Does your group need a good jolt of positive thinking? Look no further than JJ Flizanes. Visit her site to check out her most requested topics and video examples. jjflizanes.com. That's jjflizanes.com.
Break the vicious cycle of emotional eating and take back your power over food with Dr. Lisa Gelper. Visit her site at poweroverfood.com to read her articles, watch her videos, sign up for her monthly email tips, and check out her current classes. The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly videocasts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.